But the true humanitarian has to understand that if you care about your neighbor, if you care about prosperity, if you care about the middle class, and if you want to maximize wealth and fairly distribute it better than any other system, you have to believe in freedom. You have to believe in sound money, and you have to believe in the free market. Otherwise, it's a failed policy. It's a shame that we haven't been able to convince people in the past that a system of freedom is a humanitarian system. Instead, we lost that argument, but guess what? We're starting to win it now because the failure is all around us, whether it's the failure of the housing program or the failure of the foreign policy with these endless wars, the failure of the government to protect our civil liberties. In the name of freedom, they come and attack us and invade our homes without search warrants. Let me tell you, the defenders of our revolution and the writers of the Constitution would be embarrassed if they knew what we were putting up with our own government. But once again, they play on fears and innuendos and try to scare the people. After 9/11, of course, we had to go after the bad guys. And I voted to go after the bad guys, to go after the al-Qaeda that was responsible. But look, it took over 10 years to get hold of bin Laden. At the same time, they took 10 years to invade countries they were just itching to invade in and occupy. They used it as an excuse. But what about what they did to, what the Congress and the President did to the American people? The American people weren't guilty, but what has happened? They went and immediately passed the Patriot Act, which undermines your liberties. The Patriot Act is one thing for certain. It is not patriotic. So the best thing we can do with the Patriot Act is repeal it as quickly as possible. You know, I was convinced that if he had a different name on the Patriot Act, if that it had to repeal the Fourth Amendment Act, nobody would have voted for it. So instead of saying we're going to repeal the Patriot Act, how about restore the Fourth Amendment to the American people?